pandemic.
Patients that came in negative, now getting sick. And we had to start looking at, well, why are they being exposed? Why are we all getting sick? And it came down to, we're not being provided the correct PPE. Hospital administration was not addressing it. It was our time to say, enough is enough. That's what nurses do. We advocate. We advocate for our patients. We advocate for each other, and we advocate for the community.
We had to fight from the very beginning to get that we could change our masks.
Organizing in a for-profit hospital, their pockets are much bigger than ours, right?
Hartford Healthcare is
HHC literally took out an ad on the Super Bowl, which cost millions of dollars. The PR that they put out there, you're constantly fighting against that.
Too many good nurses leave Bacchus.
When you say, oh, Hartford Healthcare against 400 Bacchus nurses, well, we're doomed, right? But if you say all of AFT Healthcare against HHC, then, it's more of a fighting chance.
Having that political leverage to put pressure on Hartford Healthcare executives to do the right thing was critical to us settling a fair contract.
This entire experience has been empowering, really a journey to self-respect and self-growth. I am a different person than when I started this.
During COVID, we made some sacrifices because we knew we had to do these things. However, that doesn't mean that you go ahead and change 40 years of contract negotiations for stuff that we have fought for and done.
When you start taking away from people who give themselves so selflessly, you get different patient care.
One of the staffing shortages we are having right now is nothing that we weren't expecting. We're looking at between 40 and 50% vacancy rates.
Our nurses are short, our techs are short, our pro unit is short. That includes things like mental health therapists, physical therapists.
As soon as we get close to staffed, because everybody's just so overwhelmed and so burnt out and there's so much backlog of everything, we have somebody else leave.
One of our big fears is they want to float us, which means they want to take the nurse from the open heart unit and have them take care of a cancer patient. And I know that nurse would try the best that he or she could, but we need the right nurse taking care of the right patient population at the right time.
You're watching nurses leave. I watched, 4 nurses give a resignation in the ER just within the last 3 weeks.
Together in solidarity, speaking up for patient safety over profits.
Hospitals are not doing enough to retain their nurses, and so one particular component of that is trying to increase wage and compensation to make sure that we can retain and keep nurses in our local communities and making sure that we have good patient safety standards throughout the nation.
We care for some of the most mentally challenged residents in our state. Having adequate funding for the services we provide is very crucial for the people of the great state of New York.
As a profession, obviously, we're so caring, and that's the whole reason why we get into nursing. And if we don't have time to replenish that and kind of fix some of those things, it creates moral injury.
The burnout, especially of bedside nurses, is so huge. I couldn't do what I needed to do for my patients, and so I left the bedside.
Not being able to rest because you just have to drive on and care for everybody because there's not enough nurses in the field. So it's that trauma of knowing that there's just nobody coming to replace you and you have to keep going.
The challenges that we face in healthcare on an individual basis are insurmountable. UPAM is a new union, and it has made a dramatic difference. Without that ability to have any voice, we wouldn't have a way to push back and say, look, you're working our providers 50, 60 hours a week.
And I feel like someday that it's gonna change. It has to change, even if it has to be me to make that change.
The louder we speak up collectively and push back on our administrators, on our corporations, and bring back what nursing really is. It's not about profit, it's about patient care, and it's about positive outcomes.